What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says, and it says what it is. I am End Time, and it's been quite some time before we have jumped on here and have had a chat. With me this evening is none other than Henyo. Henyo, what's up, man?
What's up? How you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, bro. I couldn't wait for, dude, I don't know. I couldn't wait for this day, this whole week to be over, man. I was just chomping at the bit. How you been, man?
You know how I've been, man. I've been happy. I've been gaming. I've been doing things. I'm busy always. Always busy. Never a dull time around me. How you doing,
That's
man? Long time, man. It has been a long time.
dude, we've been busy, right, in our own respects, and I think you and I today we're just gonna make this the loving on Steam Deck
Yeah,
podcast,
man.
because it's been amazing, bro. The Steam Deck has definitely revived my gaming soul is what I'm calling this
Yeah.
episode. It's been fabulous, bro. It's been awesome. How's it been treating you?
Um, it's been great. It's been like almost like it's also been a learning experience, with the whole emulation aspect of it, but man, it's definitely it was everything I knew, man. You knew I was the first one to get down with the reservation, so I knew this thing was gonna be just the perfect experience that I wanted in gaming for sure, and it's lived up to the hype.
Yeah, you jumped into the reserving it. You waited for an entire year, right? Or
Yeah,
more?
yeah, almost a year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half.
Dang. I don't know
Yeah.
how you had the pay. I mean, was that one of those get it and forget it type kind of moves you did there?
Yeah, literally it was, I just was like, wait a minute, I don't I needed a portal device. I had a Switch, but it's just, it was just like I think I could do better. I think Steam could do better, and
Yeah.
then on Nintendo, I just had a library that I couldn't use on the Switch.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, you've always been the PC guy, right? That's been your go-to even besides
Yeah,
consoles, right?
yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so I know you're super duper duper excited about this, and one of the things that how do you feel now that Steam Deck supposedly has sold one or over 1 million of these devices now? They're out in the
Wow.
wild. Yeah, the last that I checked, and from what I understand, you can actually pick one up and you'll have it in maybe in 1 or 2 weeks here in the States. That's
Yeah,
kind of
so I
awesome.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read the same thing. And Steam, Steam throws in their disclaimer that, there might be a back order at some point. You
Mm-hmm.
probably see that coming around the holidays, but, if they have them, they're gonna flush them out, flush them out the warehouse. They're not gonna, keep them and make people wait for sure. They did a great job with that. Ain't that amazing how they were able to just catch up?
Dude, that was incredible. I mean, I know that, and you got the high end Steam Deck, right? That's the one I purchased, the 512.
Yeah, the 512 with the matte
Yeah,
finish
yeah,
and
right.
the eggshell
Yeah,
case. That thing is huge.
that thing is huge, man. But you know what surprised me was that when I took it out of its box and whatnot, my first impressions. I didn't make a first impressions video. I just kind of felt like that was oversaturated here on YouTube. But
Yeah.
my first impression, I was amazed how light this system is.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
and
that
I
uh,
was,
that
I was,
what you feel about that? I mean, did that worry you that it was light? Did you feel like it was should have had some more heft to it?
I mean, the experience of just receiving it, like, I
Mm,
mean, it's almost like Christmas, but it was just like, like it brought that youthful Christmas feeling.
right.
Like it was like, man, this has been like a gamer's dream to have like the perfect console in his hands,
Mm,
right? You either tied down by wires, by, hardware size, whatever the case may be, and when I'm opening it, I'm just like, man, I can't believe this thing is gonna it's gonna revolutionize gaming on the go, because of the capability of it. And as I'm opening it, I'm just like in disbelief. It was just like, wow, this is gonna be really cool. I knew it,
That's
like I
awesome.
just felt it, and yeah,
You was giddy,
it was
right?
something.
You was like
Yeah, oh,
giddy,
absolutely.
beside yourself.
Yeah,
But
I wish they would have changed the size of the box. The box is a telltale. Like,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
once UPS and FedEx start figuring out, this is a Steam Deck in here.
Right.
I think it's even labeled Steam Deck.
Yeah, I
It's just
think
gonna
that.
become thievery.
Yeah, I mean, they were having some. Well, when I say they, I'm generalizing, right? But there was reported issues that some Steam decks were getting copped out there. And I think it was what you said. They started catching on that these unmarked quote unquote boxes, it looked like cardboard boxes, were Steam decks, because it doesn't have any like branding or anything on the outside, which I guess worked for so long. So
It definitely. I mean, it was a great experience just opening it. You open it up, and you can just keep opening up box.
yes,
The box and another box, and then the case, and then it's just sitting there in front of you. It was a great experience to open and to like fire it up. I just
right.
knew it was gonna be like, this is it. This is the moment that I've been waiting for as far as gaming.
So did you open it and look at it? Did you turn it on? What was the first thing you did?
Um, what was the first thing? I don't know. Like I stared
Because
at
you've
it.
had it for how long
It
now?
felt like,
How long have you
I
had it
think I
now?
told you this. I've had it. Yes, it's like midsummer, but like I opened
Midsummer.
it and
Okay.
it was just like really long. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you, it felt like I was holding a fillet fish or something, like a
Yes,
salmon.
that's what you posted. Yeah.
It's smaller than a skateboard, but longer than a flounder. It's
Right.
just,
Right. Right. So
and
so so you don't remember what you
yeah, it
did? I
was like
mean,
I was just like, where do I even start with this thing? Because I knew I
mm,
had a library, but the whole thing about the whole emulation aspect of it, that's the one part, where is my flaw. I never really, messed with emulation.
mm-hmm.
So it was just like, how am I gonna, take advantage of this with zero knowledge? Like just whatever scraps of, emulation I know. I've never really like sat down and looked at videos. I knew
Mm-hmm.
there was, out of the boxes stuff there, your experience, you talking about it and your setups and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I was up, like it was gonna be a little bit of a learning for me. But
Mm-hmm.
I knew my Steam library was there to start off with, but I really wanted to dabble and relive some of those older you know, console games.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So it's interesting to me because I know we've had conversations here in the past, and you've been vocal and clear, and try not to be offensive towards not really being a Nintendo guy, and the Switch
Uh,
really didn't cut it for you. Um, I remember when they announced the Switch, and to be honest, I myself have never been a handheld person. I've always been a console person, so I've always plugged it into my, TV and just and play from there. So a portable device for me was never an appealing thing. I've had a Vita, PSP,
mm-hmm.
maybe a DS. I don't know which one because they had so many of those versions that it got crazy. Nintendo like milked that cow. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, a handheld device was not my cup of tea. And look who jumped in, Dark Dad. Hold on, let me unmute this
What?
man. Dang, Dark Dad must have got the signal. Did you get the bad signal, Dark Dad? Let's see if he got his mic hooked up.
I like it how I come into the room
There you
and
go.
already get laughed at.
No,
What
brother,
up?
no. We we
Nobody's laughing at
we're
you.
la- we're laughing here with you, bro, with joy that you jumped in here, man. You must have seen
Yeah,
the bad signal and came right
yeah.
on over, man. That's a good thing. How are you, brother?
Yeah. Um, I'm me. It's a long story. Everybody too happy. I put it that way.
Okay.
I I I I'm here to get the love and joy going on.
Okay.
What we talking about? What we talking about?
Brother, here we're just talking about our experience with Steam Deck, and actually it's you got good timing that you jumped in here because we were talking about, I was actually sharing how when the Switch was announced by Nintendo, I've never been a handheld device individual, right? And so for me, when I heard about the Switch, I didn't get excited. I was like, okay, portable device. I'm glad that they made it to where you can dock it and play it, but I thought I would never use it handheld. For me, it was just another console. How about you, Jay? Have you ever been a handheld person, or you've always gone the route of just give me the block that I can plug into my screen?
You want me to be honest? I've been doing this as GBA old style, green and black, baby. That's
Get out, really?
yeah, and not to mention the Tiger Electronic Games.
Wow, dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it
Okay.
comes from,
Yeah.
and that whole I want more, like I want more, I want more, I
Mm-hmm.
want it to get better, I want it to get be better. Just I want more of it, and from what our dad mentioning from those little Tiger LCD
Mm-hmm.
games,
Mm-hmm.
and advancing through that technology.
Dude, I mean, when you say the Tiger handheld games, I remember little soccer and football. There was nothing on that screen. All that was on that screen was like whatever pixels there were, and your imagination filled in all the gaps. So, I mean, and not to say, but that was our childhood. But Dark, I would have never thought of you as a handheld guy. That's something new I've learned here, man.
What? I mean, I was there when the handheld revolution came in strong
Mhm.
because you had your Game Boy. The Game
Love
Boy
the
really,
Game Boy.
yeah, the original Game Boy set it off. And then, back in those days, everybody was like, yeah, that Game Boy. Then when they were like, but Game Boy Color though,
Mm,
everybody was like, what color?
that was
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
The best
yeah,
accessory was that little overhead light
yeah. And then from
to really colorize it.
see, then
Wow.
when Game Boy Color dropped, every other system creator kind of wanted to follow suit. Do you guys ever remember hearing of this handheld called the TurboGrafx Duo?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Then you had the Sega Nomad.
The Nomad. Yeah, that was a big blocky
Barely,
thing.
barely remember that one.
Then
Yeah.
you had the Atari Lynx.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the links.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the size of the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Yep.
Lord, that thing is massive if it's that big. The Atari
Well,
Lynx.
the
Yes.
deck is a little thinner. The deck is a little thinner
And
if I
lighter.
remember.
And lighter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. And then
Don't forget the Sega Game Gear.
yeah,
Mhm.
well, yeah, that's right. Because then we had the Game Gear, and then Sony set it off. Well, you had the VMU from the Dreamcast,
Mm-hmm.
which, and then Sony set it off with the PS Vita, and that's when emulation really came to the forefront.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
But throughout this, excuse me, throughout all this stuff, what did these little handheld devices give you? Versatility to play more than just one
Right.
game.
right.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and hitting on the because Jay just opened that door, and that's where we were at here just a moment ago. That the emulation, right? That's where people started to dabble in that and bring those games from their childhood right forward with them, um, and on a handheld, to say the least. And now we have a Steam Deck, which people are calling an emulation beast. Okay, I mean just the stuff that people are already emulating. I mean, I've seen people emulating Switch on it. Have you seen that?
Or what? Not yet. I know
Yes,
there's
dude.
been like the first, second gens, the consoles,
Mm-hmm.
and going prior to those, but like Xbox and PS2s and stuff like that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So for me, honestly, having the setups that I do, the arcade setups and whatnot, and really working on learning how to get the emulation going, and even to this day it's still a labor of love. There's games that I come across that I gotta jump in there and refresh my mind, and deal with the settings and whatnot to get the game playing just right. It's work. It's work. What's been your experience so far, Henyo?
It is a lot of work. And this is what I was thinking as I'm holding it in my hand. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna grab all these emulations and ROM? Let alone the emulations is the easy part, the ROMs, right? Because you gotta own the ROM. But I kind of said, don't get greedy. Don't bite more than you could chew. Start off with what you like, right? Like you really want. That would be the Sega Dreamcast systems and the Genesis, because those were my prime time, gaming consoles. So that's where I kind of kept myself. I didn't try to get too greedy and bite more emulators and ROMs that I could handle, and that's been sort of the training ground, so to speak, for me.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a lot of work.
That's good discipline, because
Yeah.
when you start dabbling in that world and you see it all open before you, you could wind up easily oversaturating yourself, and then you're back to square one where you're like, I got all these games and I play none of them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I didn't want to fall into.
Jay, what's your area of dabbling with emulation? Like, what's your go-to in the old school realm?
Okay, you need to be more specific than that. You mean gaming wise?
Yeah, gaming wise, man. We're talking about games. Like, what is it that what's your go-to as far as with your, I know you have an emulation setup, and where do you find yourself mostly playing when you do, jump in there and play?
Oh God, retro. I mean, I cleared Mega Man X1 through 4 in a couple of days, and I got everything. I got all of it, like 100%.
On what on what system?
Oh, I did it on the Xbox.
Okay,
So
but
I bought
okay,
the Mega Man X1. Oh,
okay.
go ahead.
No. I was gonna say you played it on Xbox, but the games originally were for what system?
X1, 2, and 3 was on Super NES. Then X4 dropped on Saturn and PlayStation.
Okay. So you was taking it back to those games, and yeah, you put the work in there. You said you cleared which ones?
I cleared every single X1 through 4. I cleared all of them 100% of everything. I got everything in the game you could get.
Dang. You the man.
No. It was. If you guys ever decide to take retro games seriously one more time, to get back into that mindset where you're gonna beat the game, not just I'm talking about when you get so heated that you gotta beat it to that point. Nah, today is the day this is getting done.
I don't think I've ever, see, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever gotten so locked in and obsessed with saying I'm gonna beat this game even if it kills me. What about you, Henyo? You've ever felt that way about a game?
Games that I know I'm gonna be able to finish.
Right.
Nothing like baseball. Baseball I know will be eternal, right? But something like Far Cry, I know is I'm gonna give myself 6 months to finish this thing. If I don't finish it in 6 months, shame on me. And it's I try to accomplish games. I try to finish games, but there's always a game, tapping me on my shoulder, going, "Hey, I'm still here. What's up?"
Right.
You and me, one-on-one.
Right. And for me, I'm always amazed at Jay when he plays and he talks about going back to these retro games, and some of these games he's played, he's beat, and he'll go back to them and he'll play them again and beat them. I've never had that. I've never had the, I don't know, maybe call it the discipline, the drive, I
Yeah,
play
the lust for the
games.
game.
Yeah, yeah. I play games like food I eat. I don't eat food that hurts me. You know, if it's gonna hurt me and cause me pain and discomfort, I'm, you know, I won't eat it. Same thing with my gaming. It's like I couldn't imagine
Yeah,
playing through Mega Man. I love it, but I got stuck in Dr. Wily's castle, and I couldn't do it.
I tell you what, would you guys like me to do a playthrough of one of the X games for you?
Dude, that would be great, man. I mean, just to I can vicariously live that retro through you because it is a feat to applaud, and I admire when I see somebody that can do it, and they do it like it's the back of their hand. You know, they just go through the game. Yeah,
in
it's
a session.
yeah, 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 right. Not in 6 months.
That's not
Learning the
that's not.
patterns and
There's only
stuff.
yeah, there's only been one game that I practically played back to back, and that was BioShock Infinite. That was the
Okay.
one game that I said I finished it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start this thing all over again.
Wow.
Outside of that, there's not too many titles that I've said, you know what, I'm gonna play this again.
Okay.
That's
Fair
something
enough.
actually.
Fair enough, man. But let me go ahead, Jay.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Did you, back in the early days of gaming, when you bought your game, not like y'all young cats got it today where you can just go online. I'm talking about when you got your game and that's all you got. You never pushed that game and burnt a hole in it till you just couldn't play it no more.
Well, hey, I'm not gonna say that I didn't do that because it was really like no choice. But I'm the games that I remember picking up. They weren't like the Mega Man and the Castlevanias. We're talking about I would pick up like EA, sports hockey, NHL hockey. And then we would just hang out and play that or Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, and those were games that had, the replayability and you hang out with your friends and whatnot. But, I remember playing Strider. What was that on the Genesis? I beat Strider on the Genesis. That was a pretty cool game. It wasn't a difficult game that I remember. But I had a friend who had a Nintendo and he would play the Mega Man game and day and night and day. That's all he played. I think that's the only game he owned, and he got real good at it to the point where he can sit there in a session and an hour later, if that, he was done with the game, and yeah.
That is a feat, man. I'm always
Uh-huh.
like, what? Speed
Yeah.
runs? What?
Speed runs. Yep.
A speed run for me is no less than a year.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. To this day, and Henyo, and as long as you've known me, to this day, I at least pick up and play Castlevania 1, like the classic one. I maybe play it maybe once or twice a week still.
Wow. That's
And I
amazing.
think-
That's a love for the game, man.
And
Yeah, I was gonna say,
think-
what's the affinity there? Was there like some childhood moment where you said, "This is it"?
It's not that it's an affinity. When I was a kid, Castlevania was one of those games I struggled so hard to beat that, like, literally, I remember giving up over and over and over again.
Mm.
And then one day I made that, I was like, you know what? And I love the series for the brutality that it used to have. Like right now, if all you cats came over to the house and y'all were laughing at me, you're like, all right, if you told me to play Castlevania right now, I would literally turn into speedrun mode and everything you think I'm supposed to do, I won't do. You would literally go, why is he doing that? Why is this happening? Why is that? Like, dude, I just play the game totally different when I'm serious. So yeah,
I hear you.
I went from taking 30 minutes to the game. I can probably do it in about 15 minutes now.
Nice. That easy.
Trying to
Yeah,
get it lower than that. I'm trying to get it lower than that.
Yeah, I mean it just sounds like, again, that was a game that challenged you, and you just got to go back to it. And you see, I never played a game that I can recall that I said I got to overcome this game, beat this game to the ground, show it that I'm its master. Like, I've played games, I've enjoyed them. Um, I don't even think I've ever gone back to play a game that I've played before. I can't recall off the top of my head. But one thing I do want to say, and it probably is gonna escape my thought here, but I'm surprised, Jay, that you playing games that are quote unquote brutal, like Castlevania, and you've never played the Souls type games, have you?
No, because that's because I want to save my controllers.
I mean, I think that would be right. I keep preaching it to you every time we talk and we broach this subject. I think those games would fit you perfectly, because Castlevania, if we want to argue it, is probably like in that vein of pioneering those soul type games. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Not be. I couldn't be honest with you because I mean, Demon Souls was the birth of it all, and that came out on, I believe, PlayStation 2
Hmm.
or maybe PlayStation 1. But that was the jump off for that. The Soul series was
For
started
the
in Demon
genre.
Souls back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, that genre really fell under like Resident Evil and Alone in the
Mm.
Dark and that kind of the bigger horror franchises from it. And
Right.
some of y'all don't know what Alone in the Dark is, but that's a horror classic from back in the day.
Yeah, I know what Alone in the Dark is, man. I want to pull the wagons back around and talk a little bit more about Steam Deck, because it's awesome. Steam Deck is awesome, man. And talking to Henyo about Steam Deck, he said he's here now, dabbling in the with ROMs and emulation and figuring that out. How easy has it been to navigate and to learn this stuff for you, Henyo? And you're a PC guy.
I am
Talk
a
to us
PC guy.
council guys. Talk to us council guys and tell us the truth. Is it something that we can learn, that we can jump into, or is it something that's just gonna completely lose us?
Um, no, I don't. I don't think. I mean, I'm figuring it out, so I don't think it's that difficult. It's something I never really like focused on doing. It was something that I said, all right, I'm gonna add an emulator to my PC. Right? I've always playing, you know, new gen games on my PC. It was never about looking back at older games on my PC. So I think the community is there, and I mean, there's a plethora of videos. um there is no like one path that leads you down the right setup. Every every emulator is different. Managing your ROMs is different. Well, not maybe not managing your ROMs, but like getting your ROMs, or buying your ROMs. It's all pretty straightforward, but it's just the setup of it, right? It's
Hmm.
gonna be a hit or miss. Collecting the artwork is gonna be your most time-consuming effort, right? Setting up the emulator is pretty much it's all scripted now. It's a lot easier now from when I remember being exposed to it like decades ago, and it's so much easier. And that's what the deck kind of pulls it in. The emu deck, at least software, pulls that in to make it easy for you. I mean, literally, I think upon setup, like there was only like maybe one or two questions, and it was a yes or no question. Everything else is kind of set up for you to succeed. If
Nice.
if you like really have a hard time with it, you just you must be like really bad, because it literally does the work for you. It's scripted,
Right.
and I think I mean, that's a credit to the community, of the effort that they've put in, you know, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and putting that into the program to run smoothly when someone like me runs it and goes, okay, that was it. All I need to do is this. All right, that's it. And again, there's plenty of videos on the internet, and there's just as many people asking for help,
Mm.
um, based on the community boards that I've been visiting.
I found myself watching videos, and I mean, some better than others, some better explained than others. But if I just followed along and followed the instructions, and the video was 2/3 decent, where the person who did the video did not just assume that the people that he was talking to knew every acronym, or I mean, there's the hand holding where it's like, click here, not here, or editing the video, you just cut out an important part. How did
Mm-hmm.
you get to that menu? And it was something as simple
Right.
as, don't click on the folder, click away from the folder. Like, I got stuck on a video like that, where the guy, and I had to, I mean, gosh, I saw it maybe like 15 times, just hitting it, rewinding it, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And I'm like looking at everything that he was doing, and it wasn't even what he did, it's what he said. And when I listened to what he said, because he clicked on something, but he said something, and I think it must have been like him editing his video or whatever. But I was like, oh, he didn't click on the folder. He clicked in the empty space by the folder, and that opened up the other menu. And it was
Yeah.
something, I mean, it was something as ridiculous as that. So I know that people are not probably gonna, like, if you come across this video, this podcast and whatnot. But guys, if you make a video and you're versed in whatever it is that you're doing, I mean, I like to just point even the things that I know or I assume are obvious because they're so familiar to me. But there's people out here that is not going to be able to follow along. And that one crucial step, it added like another, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes to my installation or the process. But once I got past that, it was cool. It was, I mean, it was
Yeah.
easy. My Linux experience was zero up until now with Steam,
Uh,
and it's been great, man. It's been great.
uh, Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been exposed to the Linux OS, so I kind of knew the stability of it, the
Mm.
GUI interface.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm an IT guy, so I kind of understood, there's gonna have to be some commands that you're gonna have to, open up a command line or a console. In
Right.
Linux, it would be a console,
Mm-hmm.
and input commands, right? But the community, again, providing that information, saying just copy and paste what I put in my information,
Right.
paste it onto your command line, and it should be perfect. So maybe there was like maybe 2 or 3 people that provided the information that I needed to for successful, you know uh entryway into
Right.
emulation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is so. It is, the process is so much easier again when you have that. Some of the best videos that I saw had what you said. They had the attachment of a document where they had prepared, and they had it in their notes, so you can literally go in there, cut and paste, and it was great. What are some accessories that you've picked up so far for the Steam Deck that are a must have? Like, you must have these for the Steam Deck experience to be that much
Um,
smoother.
um, Definitely you would want some sort of Ethernet adapter port, right? You don't want to rely solely on Wi-Fi, and that's just for the sake of big downloads.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to download a pretty sizable ROM set.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you also be doing a lot of artwork downloading. So I kind of stationed mines next to my router with a cable, and just I did the whole uh monitor setup with a wireless keyboard.
Okay.
Just one little device that allows you to connect USB devices. So definitely an adapter, Ethernet adapter, right, for quick downloads, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're importing your Steam games down, right? You want those to be done as quickly as possible.
Right.
You don't want to waste a
Right.
day and a half downloading via Wi-Fi. So that, and then just a normal, what they call those, you know, uh, it's like it's almost like the actual docking station in which you could connect your HDMI cable
Mm-hmm.
to USBs, 2 or 3 USB ports, and
Mm-hmm.
then an SD card, and then uh, another smart. What is the size of these new plugs? Smart. Uh, the micro connectors, the new
Yeah.
micro connectors. It
Right.
has a
Right. That's
slot for that,
small. Yep.
and I think I spent maybe $20 on it.
Okay.
So those two have been instrumental in making the transition to download everything so much easier.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of a computer, monitor, and just getting to
Mm-hmm.
work, entering commands.
Yeah.
But
And
I would,
reminding, right, that it is a computer that we're dealing with, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then while when I first got the device, there was a lot of updates that needed, including a new update that just came out, but like the keyboard was the on-screen keyboard was still a little bit like not working properly.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, it was just like you would call it up, but you couldn't close it,
Mm.
right? And
Okay.
you're trying to close the keyboard so you can see the screen, and then you would you know, have to
Yeah.
restart it or reboot it, and then you couldn't call it the on-screen keyboard ever again. It's like what I do. So,
And I'm
to that
glad you
effect.
sharing that, man.
So having a physical thing is much better than
Yeah.
a software doing it for you. So yeah, definitely you want Ethernet cord, Ethernet adapter, and a HDMI connection with
Okay.
USB. Those
Okay.
are the go-to. But now the docking station has been released. That's really cool. If you don't want to, carry around all those wires and cables, you have that
Mm-hmm.
one block now that you could kind of either leave at home or bring it
Okay.
with you. I think it's small enough that you could bring it with you.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty tiny device. Jay, are you at all interested in dabbling with a Steam Deck? It's a handheld device.
No, I'm gonna leave that to you professional eggheads.
It's about the size of a slap. You ever slap somebody with a long hand? That's that's
Dude, it's a big boy, man. It's a big boy.
it is.
One of the first things I did when I got my Steam Deck is when I opened it and I saw it in all its glory, I took my OLED Switch and I put it side,
Yeah,
and I
I did
was
the
like,
same.
wow, it's a big boy. It was.
Yeah.
I thought the OLED Switch was a hefty device, a big device, but yeah, the Steam Deck is definitely bigger. The screen is not as pretty. Meaning, you got an OLED screen on if you have an OLED Switch, but to see your games, your in your Steam collection, to see, I mean, one of the last things that I've done is I tapped into the remote play, and I'm doing xCloud gaming and remote playing off of my Xbox Series X, and it runs beautiful.
Nice.
I'm in my room upstairs in the second floor of my home. My Xbox is downstairs, and it runs beautiful. I was playing Master Chief Collection, and I was a little bit of tweaking with the frame rates and whatnot, but I was running a smooth 45 FPS refresh rate, and it was locked. And it was good. And I was like, I'm still amazed and awed when I turn on the Steam Deck, and it's been 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks or something. And I keep saying to myself, okay, this is gonna wear off. This is gonna wear off. But it hasn't. And I look forward to turning it on and seeing what's in the store. There's always sales. That's the bane of my existence. How do you deal
Mhm.
with that, Henyo? Where you have a smorgasbord, of games that go. My wish list on Steam is like almost 100 now, 100 games, and that's probably feeble compared to some people.
Wow, maybe I think I'm somewhere around 40.
Okay,
But I'm dabbling
I've
a lot
deleted
more in
some
indie
too.
games. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them
yep,
are old school, but I'm like I'm using it more for indie games, right? Games that I've
yes,
never like. I
same
just want to
here.
try out because they're so different than what we get fed.
Right.
I just want to make one comment regarding the accessories. The outer
Sure.
case just kind of completes the
Mm-hmm.
the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got your protective case. I think I showed it to you on the Discord channel.
Mm-hmm.
That made me feel like, okay, I'm really in control of this device. It gave me the I don't know, maybe it just kind of added a little bit more weight to it to make it feel a little
Okay.
bit more firm.
That's some
So, because to
confidence.
me, yeah, like it felt like, man, this is too thin. It feels,
Mm-hmm.
very fragile. Like I'm afraid to drop it, but that case, that little extra case, kind of you grab it and you're holding it, and it feels like a system now to really
Mm.
play with it. So that's another accessory that you must, get.
Cool.
And regarding the library, I've been the library's been being fed constantly every week. It's
Oh
just
my
like
god.
Dude,
it,
it's it is a problem. It could become a problem because I don't know about you, Henyo and Jay. I mean, I don't know how thrifty you are, or AKA cheap, but I don't remember the last time that I paid full price. I'm talking about $60 for a game. I
yeah,
don't remember. No,
yeah.
I don't remember the last time I paid $30 for a game.
I can tell you
I
the
think,
last time I
Honestly,
paid.
I'm in the same boat.
yeah. How about
I
you,
can tell
Jay?
you
When's the last time you paid full price for a game, or the last time you purchased the game? How much was it?
last big, the last big purchase of a game I made, and Brother Santos, I remember this one. I mean, well, in time I remember. Shadow of War Special Edition.
Yes, I remember that. That's one of your babies.
I spent $100 on that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you've
Bought
That's what I
that.
milked
do with
that game.
MLB.
I I think I've played that game so
Mm-hmm.
many times it makes no sense.
And that
That's
was
a
the
good one
second
too.
one, right? The Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, I was drooling at the mouth when they announced that game.
Now,
And it
now,
lived
if
up.
I tell you that I've seen that on the Steam Deck on sale,
Oh, when I bought it for $100, it was like 6 months later. The game was on sale for like $20, and I was like, "This sucks."
I've seen it. I've seen it for $9.99, bro. On I think the
Yeah,
complete edition on the Steam Deck.
Dear Lord.
you
It's
know,
just it's ridiculous.
I
It's
You know,
got
you
ridiculous.
know what I got my eye on this week?
What's that?
I got Metro.
Ah,
Uh, uh,
dude,
they
what a
they got
great
it the whole
series.
pack. They
Oh
got
my
the whole
gosh.
pack for like $14, and like
Oh my gosh.
it's just waiting to tonight.
You're salivating, aren't you?
Yeah, it's in the shopping cart. It just hasn't been like, added.
He hasn't hit the
Like it hasn't
button
been.
yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
But that's a
man.
series that I think would look awesome on a console like that.
Yeah,
There's not too many games that are gonna look ugly in this system.
mm-mm, mm-mm. You know what excites me, Enyo? That there are games from last gen. We're talking about PS4, even PS4 Pro quality, that you could run on the
Yeah,
Steam Deck.
yeah,
And there's a one or two games that I'm eyeballing that I played on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but I would love to play on the Steam Deck, man. To have, one of those games is God of War. Now it's still full price,
yeah.
and I'm like, ain't no way I'm paying full price for no game that's like 4 or 5 years old already. Like that's not happening. No matter how good game of the year game it is, but yeah, that
Yeah.
would be awesome. I think I would pull the trigger
I
if
got a
it came
question.
down to 20. Yeah, go for it,
I got,
man.
yeah, I got a question. What's the
Yeah.
first game you played on?
Holy crap! What was the first game I played on it? Hold on, I have to I have to look in my. I'm gonna turn this on as you guys chat here a little bit, just to refresh my mind.
And I'll let you know what I did. I played a game called Stray, which you play a
Stray.
feline.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a 10-hour game. It's not a very long game, but man, it looks so good on this system. Then
Sweet.
came Lego, Star Wars Lego Complete Saga, but I'm playing that because you could play that game in spurts, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll play that one during the commute. So that one's
Okay.
like, quick half hour, 45-minute sessions on that one. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and any Dreamcast game.
Gotcha. Let's see. I think the first game that I booted up, if I'm not mistaken, was Sonic All-Star Racing's Transformed collection.
Sorry, so you went old school on it.
Dude,
I gave it a quick
that
test for the newer game.
yeah, no, I went straight to that. It ran like a dream. Then somewhere in there I played a game called One Deck Dungeon that I own on the
Yes.
Switch, and I've put time on it on the Switch. I have it. I had it on. I went and bought on the Steam after I got the. I have the physical cards, which was the game that carried me through the when the power was down, when the hurricane came
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
last week, and I was loving it. I said, "Dang, I love this game." Bought it on the deck again. What else? Oh, have you guys ever played a game called Knights of Pen and Paper 2?
Never heard of that. Knights of
Oh,
Pen and Paper.
they have Knights of Pen and Paper 1, but I'm playing Knights of Pen and Paper 2. Jay, have you ever heard of this game?
I have not.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
So let me ask you guys, right? Did any of you guys play Dungeons and Dragons back in the day?
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but
We sat in a
before,
session before.
yeah, man, before the miniatures, before the the elaborate setups, it was just the line graph paper and a couple of dice and your imagination.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this Knights of Pen and Paper, you literally are playing D&D. There's a dungeon master, and these are all characters, right? So he's like sitting across from you at a table, and you see him, and then you see your party, which can be composed of up to 5 different characters in front of you, seated at the table with their back turned to you, and he's taking you through an adventure. And it's pretty cool, man. It is pretty cool, pretty straightforward. But I played that for a minute. Then
Looking it
that's
up
when
right now as we speak.
yeah, Knights of Pen and Paper 2 is great. Then I played Hades,
I heard that was
and Hades is great. Jay, please tell me you played Hades.
No, but I heard the game was fantastic.
Dude, the game is and you know what, for anyone who hasn't played Hades, or maybe if you played it and you dropped it because you was like, oh man, I'm done with this roguelite dying and restarting, play it because your character starts to power up. You start to grow, but you got to give yourself the opportunity to, learn the game, die, come back, power up, and then things start to progress. But it is a great, great
How do you
game.
spell that one? That's the one
What's
that
that?
with the big cone. The guy wears a big cone. You were playing that one online. You were
Which one
streaming
was that?
Hades. What's the
Hades.
name of the game you're referring to
No,
right
no,
now?
I don't think I've never streamed Hades.
Oh, okay.
No, I never
How you
streamed
pronounce
that.
that? I mean, how do you spell that? H-A-I-T?
Hades is
Hades.
Hades.
Like Hades, as in like the.
Hades,
Oh,
like
okay,
in
gotcha.
hell,
I'm thinking ahead of that. All right.
right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now the last thing that I played, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, Battle Block Theater.
Oh yeah.
And Sleek is in. I mean, let me have Sleek jump in here. What's up, Sleek?
What's happening?
Dude, have you ever played?
Spoken, man.
Have you ever played a game called Battle Block Theater?
Yeah, I have.
It was on the. Of course, he has it. Sleek has everything. He has the physical copy. I bet.
Yeah, it was on 360.
On 360, exactly, dude. That game, in my opinion, has the best intro of a game that I've seen in a long. I mean, it is comical like you wouldn't believe. And if y'all want to check out like the intro of the game, like it's on YouTube. Just type in like Battle Block Theater intro, and I think it's like 2-3 minutes intro. It's hilarious, man. And it was on sale with Castle Crashers. I know y'all have played Castle Crashers.
Not I, but I see it. I see it
Dude, oh my gosh. If you pick up Castle Crashers, we definitely gotta play. It's one of those games you can play online. You can share. So like if you just have one person owns the game, dude, that game is so much fun.
Your brother played that game. I seen him play that game and swear by it.
Dude, the game is, it's great. It is great. It is just the company that puts out that game, Battle Block Theater, Pit People. I think they do Alien Hominid, if I'm not mistaken. That's another cool game. The company's called Behemoth. And yeah, they're legit, man. You can't go wrong with any of their games. But those were the games that I played, and of course, I still have others that I haven't touched yet, that are on the deck and ready to go. But those games have been occupying my time.
Oh,
did you? Yeah, me too.
I haven't even gotten there. I haven't even gotten there yet.
I set it up. It was easy. I set it up, and I think I started playing Gloomhaven, but I have to configure the controls and stuff for it to work properly. But it was running. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I set up Hitman. That's what I'll play.
Okay.
Okay. I like Hitman. Cool. I'm a Hitman fan.
All those games like Battle Block and Alien Hominoid are from Newgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Newgrounds. The Newgrounds website that had all those small games. They were all small games, and people loved them. They became actual games.
Wasn't Newgrounds like an old website from back in the day?
Yeah, where it had all like hilarious stuff on it.
Yeah.
I never heard of it. It's just like that. Newground.
Yeah, Newgrounds. Is it still around? Let me check.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it still up, like Newground.com or something?
Yeah, Newgrounds.com is still there.
I remember Newgrounds. They were kind of like where you wanted to see Flash videos. When Flash videos were a thing back in the day.
Flash games, Flash art, all hilarious stuff. And it's like
nice.
People do cartoons. It's like not suitable for work stuff. It's funny.
Okay, thanks for the warning there. But new. So then I can understand then why whatchamacallit, like these games like Castle Crashers from this company Behemoth, and they have these cartoons because they're not for kiddos, but the cartoon would fool you. But there's a lot of violence, like the cartoon violence and stuff, beheadings and all that fun stuff, but pretty cool. Now that we're talking about games, I've yet to play, and I have it here, and it's in front of me on the deck, Dead Island. Have you played that, Enyo?
Yes, I might.
And or anyone, Sleep. Dead Island.
Yeah.
Dead Island.
Jay, tell me you've played Dead Island.
I played it back when it was on 360.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
On the 360.
Dead Island 2 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played it before it got patched, so my experience with it wasn't that great. Like when it first came
Okay.
out, I think I tried the demo or something, and I'm like, okay, I'm lost. I'm giving up.
Okay. That's what
Like it
that's
felt
what
like a
happens.
fake.
That's what
It
happens
felt
when
like a
you're an
fake
early
game to me.
adopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It reminded me of a game, but it was just like, no, this doesn't feel like that game. Like, I
Mm,
wanted it to be that game, and it was just like, no, this is not that game.
okay. Well,
But maybe it got better,
no, it did.
obviously.
My experience with Dead Island was fantastic, man. And when I saw that it was playable on the deck, I said, okay, this has got to get tried. And Sleek, you said the Dead Island 2's coming, right? It's on its way, and you cut out there for a moment, Sleek. So
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
February
No,
3rd.
you said
Brother
February
sound like you-
3rd.
February 3rd, 2023.
What? Okay.
Nah,
I didn't know they had a release date and whatnot. So cool.
Yeah, the
That's-
game's been in development for like my God, they
Forever.
announced it. Yeah, for I was probably
Nah.
still an infant.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
It's
That's around Dead Space time. That can't happen.
yeah. So let me wrap up. I know
That's probably
Sleek just
another
jumped in.
series.
Yeah, I know Sleek just jumped in, and but we're doing a hard stop here before 10 o'clock because we get tired, sleepy, and we gotta, I got a wedding tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys got a lot of things. But I want to end off with this. It's the month of October, and I respect people's feelings about the Halloween holiday and whatnot. But are we playing anything themed around anything scary just for the sake of playing it this month, in the month of October?
I'm gonna go with the Evil Within.
You gonna play Evil Within? Okay. What about you, Henyo? Anything that you are looking at to maybe just dabble in?
No, I've always been, like I never really like scary stuff. I love Halloween. I enjoy Halloween. I relish in
Okay.
Halloween. I'm just not I can't play scary games. I've tried. Hell, Resident Evil set me straight.
Dude, you and me both.
Oh,
Maybe all the more reason, Henyo, to maybe
Maybe.
maybe jump in there, maybe do a stream, with the camera on, and
No,
I
no.
did it with I have to go back to it, man. I probably forgot like all the controls and everything, but I was doing a stream playing. What was I playing? Jay, Resident Evil.
oh,
2?
the Resident Evil lot got you.
Yes, the Resident Evil You Got Me. Yeah, and I was enjoying it, Henyo.
That was
I was
too
enjoying
quick.
it.
I
Yeah.
tried the 3D one, the first the one that you kind of walk across the village.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the village game. It was the one prior to that one. That it was like in VR.
In VR, you played it in
PlayStation.
VR?
Yeah, but I didn't get too
Dude.
far because it was too scary.
No, man.
I think I made it to the shack,
No,
and I was like, nope.
no,
Oh, as Dark Dad would say, nope.
nope. Oh man, what about you,
I put
Sleek?
that thing
Anything
down
you
quick.
playing?
What am I not playing is the question.
This man.
Yeah, it's
That's what he is.
I have too many games to choose from, but I don't really know. Right now I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance again. I bought all
Yeah,
the
so
DLC. That game's
I saw
fun.
you posted that. You got all the DLC now, so that's gonna keep you occupied for a minute, huh?
Yeah, that game's great. If you have any interest in like Skyrim, it's like the open world, you can do what you want. I like it that way. And they actually were talking about a second one. So
Okay.
I'm on board for that.
Just to know, I played Condemned on the Xbox 360.
No.
That was one of the scariest games I played.
No.
Condemned. It was one of the original
Yeah.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, I'm with you. And when Resident Evil, the first one, the OG came out, and the tank controls, and to this day, when the dogs or whatever jumped through the window, and dude, that freaked me out. There was just like, no, I couldn't shoot anything straight, and no, that messed me up. That messed me up big
Me
time.
too.
I became a Tomb Raider player at that point. I said, "Oh, I'll play Tomb Raider."
Y'all suck.
Dude, that I'm for real. It was like I wanted to play games kind of like in that genre, but I started with Resident Evil, and that messed me up. And then I looked to my left or to my right, and I saw Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, and I said, okay, and went over there, and I never looked back. So
I stayed with Resident Evil. I actually enjoy killing things.
yeah. Wow. Why do I? Well, I can't see you, but why do I see a smile on your face? This is the man that's waiting for that that remake, right? That you just mentioned here. What was that game again? It's a little game called Dead Space.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dead
yes.
Space.
It was
Yeah,
all right.
That game was good.
I played the original a bit also, and the remake looks like it's gonna be crazy. But there's a couple of games that Jay has on the horizon that's just gonna keep him busy for a bit. But guys, I'm gonna keep to my word and shut it down here before the 10 o'clock hour, and the clock strikes 10, and we all become pumpkins, and probably pass out and drool is what we're gonna do. But appreciate you guys for hanging out, for being here on the podcast. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to not just talk gaming, but actually do some gaming and hang out, man. I miss you guys. I apologize. I've been doing life. And so, I'm on here again. Like I told Henyo earlier, my wife was like, when are you going to podcast? And when your wife asks you or tells you pretty much go podcast, you go do it. So yeah, man. I need to hang out. I need to chat it up. Need to talk some more about this Steam Deck and this experience, because there's a lot of questions and a lot of exploring that I still have to do, and a lot of sharing here. But until the next one, guys, we hope that you are well, do good, be good, and as always, guys, keep your gaming in your life drama free. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.
Okay.
Yeah.